Hey, let's do the CougarBoard question of the week.
Yeah, let's do that.
If you're not familiar with CougarBoard, it's the largest online community of BYU fans with thousands of posts daily. Here's a question from one of their insider subscribers. In every Big 12 game, we've led at the half. Why do we struggle in the second half? How much is the other team adjusting to us? How much is us not being able to keep the pace up in the second half? We've talked a lot about that with Mark Durant and Jeff Chapman. What do you think?
Yeah, and I think there's been a common theme with this, and that is it's a little bit of all of that, right? And I'll add one other thing to that because it's not always the exact same thing in the second half. You know, Mark mentioned that the injuries have led to less depth. And remember, this was a team that's playing 10 or 11 folks, and they play at tremendous pace, and they push the ball, and they rebound hard, and they defend. And having 10 or 11 guys has helped. And they've not been healthy the last 6 weeks, so they haven't been healthy at all in league play. And you do see a little bit of fatigue. And these teams in this league are big and physical. They don't all play with BYU style. You see this, a lot like Iowa State. Houston's a very physical team. And BYU needs to have 10 or 11 guys. And we're hopeful that they're a little more healthy tomorrow night than they have been the last couple weeks.
Should have Waterman back, I think.
Remember, they missed Waterman in the last game, and Foose was limited.
I still don't know why Atiki didn't play, but hopefully he's back.
Atiki didn't play. Before that, Trevin Nell was out. And so we've watched this team play shorthanded. I think they need all 10 because of the fatigue factor. I feel with the 10 or 11 that they can play, then they can hold up. I think the second thing that happens is they go into these games with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, and they play kind of out of their minds, but they play loose to start the game. Then they find themselves up by 17. And they get in the second half, and they start to think, wait a minute, we were supposed to be an underdog in this game, and we were playing so loose and free. Now we got this lead. We can't lose this thing. And I think there's a little bit of mental, especially on the road, where you get a little bit tight. I loved Mark's analogy where you see the team start to close on you, and it's like sand in your hands. What a great analogy that Mark Durant made. And the harder you squeeze, the more it squeezes through the cracks in your hands. You still need to just hold it loosely. With your hand open and your fingers together. You need to play as loose as you did in the first half. But sometimes I think on the road with the crowd, the other team goes on a run, and this team will get a little bit tight, and they'll take some shots they shouldn't, or they'll turn the ball over, and they got to remember what got them there and play loose and not play not to lose. That's never a good formula. So some of that has come into it as well. So let's hope this week for a healthy team that can play 10 or 11 guys and not have the fatigue, and a team that plays loose all game long.
That's the CougarBoard question of the week.